Guys, we're a day late, but that's no big deal.
It's my fault. It's my fault. I was a buck short yesterday, so we're a day late today.
Yeah, your computer
That was a
blew
bad
up.
joke. Yeah, I tried to, just short story. Long story short, I tried to install a new heatsink. I don't know what I did to my old computer. It stopped working, and I got tired of trying to troubleshoot it, so I built a new one. And shouts out to Gungnir. My case is called a MSI Gungnir, so I don't know what that has to do, if that means anything, but I mean,
I think
thanks, dude.
I think that means we should listen to his voice submission that he put in for us.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
What up, guys? It's Gungnir. I just wanted to get your thoughts on Belveth and her opening win rate percentage of 37 or 38%. But I remember a couple episodes ago, you guys asked the question about her. I thought she was going to be complicated, and that's what it's looking like. But wanted to hear your thoughts now that she's actually out. So thanks again for the podcast, guys.
All right, Belveth. So yeah, you were right. She was sitting at Diamond Plus. Hold on, let me see what Platinum Plus was. What was that? Was it close?
Plat 41% Plus was 41. Diamond Plus was 39.
Yeah, so I mean, that makes sense, right? New champion comes out, no one knows what the fuck she does.
Well, what's crazy though is when you look at like just the overall she was 47, almost 47 and a half. Like, that's not I mean, that's not great. Don't get me wrong, it's not good, but it's not terrible. I expected actually worse in the overall rating. It seemed like the lower elo you were, the better you were with the champion.
Yeah, I just feel like, I mean, obviously no one knows what to expect when champions release, but in low elo it's worse because the players are worse, and whereas like high elo people are way smarter about how they approach these situations. Like, oh, this champion's new. There's no way this guy. Yeah, it's just they probably exploit more.
You might be right. I hadn't thought about that, but you're probably right. They probably were exploiting the hell out of the players.
Like, oh, I have no idea what the fuck to do, but someone that's in master tier is like, I'm gonna shit on this person because they don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah, because fuck them.
First thoughts, I don't see her that often. I think we maybe had like 2 or 3 games with and or against her. She's usually getting banned.
Yeah, and I will say my first thought on this champion is, if you're playing her, press R!
Oh my god.
I just peeked my mic, I'm sorry.
Press R! We had a person in a game that didn't know what they were doing.
Two people.
Was it 2?
2 games.
That's right.
2 different people. Bruh, you just killed the Herald. Fucking press R!
Yeah,
like, God
people...
damn it. Pick up the buff. And pick up your coral.
People just walked away. Even on the champion kills and assists, like, it's like a reset, dude. Like, we talked about it. AoE Garen ult, it heals you a little bit. It refreshes the 60-second stat stick that's on your fucking character. But it was weird. People, like, just be walking away from it. I'm like, what are you doing?
There are cases where I can understand, like, not picking it up immediately. Like, hey, I need to chase this person down. Picking that up is actually going to slow me down, because it does take, like, what, 2 or 3 seconds to actually fully pick it up. And so, like, sure, I would understand that. But, like, you just killed the Rift Herald. There's nobody here. You might as well pick it up. It doesn't hurt you to not pick it up. Or it doesn't hurt you to pick it up. It only hurts you because it's a stacking thing if you don't get it. So pick it up, and then, go gank mid or top. It's like a weird concept. But hey, people are still learning how to play the champion. But yeah, my one piece of advice for anybody is press R on your coral, please. It doesn't have to be like your massive main priority right then and there, because I get it. It's like Bard, like, yeah, okay, just because there's chimes doesn't mean you have to go get them right now. But generally, it's going to help you in a team fight. Just use your fucking ultimate, please.
Trying to see how long does Coral stick around for? Doesn't say.
Oh, I don't remember. It probably doesn't say. I wonder if
it's got to be like 10 seconds or something. It doesn't even say.
I'll look it up.
But yeah, Gungnir, thank you. Hopefully that's a good enough answer for you. I've been trying to play her, but every time I try to play her, either she gets banned or my person doesn't want to my first pick doesn't want to first pick for me, and the other team gets it, and it's like rip.
Right.
So,
of course.
But yeah, moving on, our Q&A of last week was, how do you guys feel about getting these massive patches back to back? And Joe wrote in, said, I am sad that Riot can't make a big gameplay change for more than one patch. Sure, the last seasons were different champs, metas, but most of the time it was the same way to win this game. I think, like, I mean, I've said this before. It's specific. It's especially jarring when patches like this are in the middle of the year and there's two. I don't think we've ever had. Usually they have a big mid-season update, but like two in a row, and it's. I mean, it completely flipped the meta, right? Like a lot of shits are getting changed, going back and forth. A lot of champions are viable,
right? It's kind of a weird meta, but I did see that Joa had said that like the same, you win the game the same. Like the game didn't change. Yes, there's different champions, but like the way you play the game is still the same. Like smash lane win game is still how it feels, right? There's a few times where it doesn't feel like that, but generally it feels like if you annihilate the lane, you win the game.
I mean, to be fair, how many games have you heard me complain where I shit on the enemy top laner, and then, or specifically like, oh, they have a Nasus, I'm shitting on him, and then guess what? 20 minutes later, he has 4,000 stacks and he's ending the game.
Well, see, the problem is the rest of the team is getting shit on, or the jungler doesn't know how to press a lead like that. You know what I mean?
So yeah, I wouldn't say it's smash lane win game then.
All right, I don't know. It still feels like that though. Like especially if your ADC is doing really well.
If you know you're ahead and you know what to do with it, sure.
I was gonna say that's probably the biggest thing is like knowing how to press your advantage, right? Like we've played too many games where teammates aren't, I guess teammates, not even just junglers, teammates. Like, oh, hey, we just aced them. Let's go get fucking Baron. There's 4 of us up or 3 of us up, and we could totally do it. And
dude,
everyone's just sitting there fucking jerking their gherkin.
I love that shit. Like,
I never understand.
My favorite thing to say in those situations, like we ace them, right? Or maybe like one of us dies, but we ace them. Right. And I start pinging Baron, and I can't fucking ping anymore, so I usually am like, Tyler, can you fucking ping this shit for me? And it's like, okay, yeah, maybe they have like 20-30 second death timers. Oh yeah, we can get an inhib. Don't get the fucking inhib, dude. Just get the
Baron.
Fucking
we can
Baron.
Get 2 inhibs.
Base, reset, spend all the gold you just got from winning the team fight, plus the Baron.
Right.
And then just port back. Like,
People are scared. I don't know. They feel like if you get Baron and base, it's a reset. I'm like, it's a 4-second reset, and you can literally start shoving waves. And then they have to deal with, that's how you do a 1-3-1. Or that's how you let a split pusher do what they need to do. You 4-1 and let a split pusher grab a side lane, and even if that side lane's not the inhibitor, you pressure the inhibitor or the opposite side lane and force them to come to you or go to the split pusher. And if you have Baron, it should be pretty easy to, you may lose a team fight if you have a split pusher, if you're 4-1. But that guy who's split pushing is going to get something, and all you have to do is distract them.
He's going to end the game,
Just have to distract them. And yes, you may have to sacrifice your support or maybe your mid laner or whatever, but your job is to distract. It's not to necessarily get the objective. If you have someone over there who can, just be annoying, be in the way. Understand how to use Baron and how to maximize your macro there.
Trust me,
is the big thing.
An middle inhib is not worth. Baron. Like, what? Okay, listen. This is what's gonna happen. This is exactly what's gonna happen. You're gonna ace them at tier 1 mid. Okay, maybe it's like 30. I don't know how long the death timers are at, like 30 minutes in the game. 25
I don't
minutes.
know either, but
whatever.
Okay.
We'll say 30 seconds or whatever. So cool. We're gonna take mid tier, mid outer tier, and then mid inner, and then cool. They're up in 10 seconds. You could have not taken middle inner, just ran to fucking Baron, because now you're gonna be like, oh, we're gonna get mid inner, cool. Oh no, we can get inhib, we can get inhib turret. No, yeah, we can do that. Now you're sitting on so much fucking gold. The enemy team is respawning. They're gonna run down and just bend you over in front of their base. You're not going to get that inhib or the inhib turret. They're going to ace you, and guess what? They're going to go to fucking Baron because they're 10 times smarter than you.
Right.
So I would... Baron, I literally say, unless it's like a 60-minute game and the death timers are 70 seconds, just go get fucking Baron. Otherwise, at that point, just end the game because you literally can't end the game.
Did you know that the death timers have a dumbass formula? After 30 minutes have passed, the waiting time is as follows. Total respawn time equals, I don't even know what BRW is. BRW plus BRW over 100 times the current minutes minus 15.
What the fuck?
Times 2 times 0.425 plus
I have a headache right now.
BRW over 100 times current minutes minus 30 times 2 times 0.3. So I don't know what the fuck that means.
I need you. You know what I need you to do? Can you? Because my Reddit account's banned. You need to like post a screenshot of that on the league subreddit and be like, "What the fuck does this mean?"
No, because some smart math person is gonna tell me I'm stupid and call me the R word.
True.
And I don't want
mind.
that. You're right. I mean, you're
no
not
sense.
wrong with the idea, but like also Reddit. So, you know. But okay. Thank you.
Joa?
Joa. Thank you. Yep. I forgot whose question we read because we got so deep into that. And we didn't do Mayo yet, right?
Nope.
So Mayo, 2 out of 10. Could have just buffed champs that weren't doing so hot, and Nerf Yi.
Yep.
Really mad that Aurelia is buffed, and it just doesn't make a lot of sense that they're reverting past nerfs, i.e. Lee Sin. I don't know what OTL means. So, I'm sorry. I'm
Let's see.
a boomer.
OTL slang.
Oh, One Trick Lee. One Trick Lee. No shit. One Trick Lee. It has to be
Okay.
One Trick Lee. I'm stupid. I'll take it. Mayo, keep playing that Lee Sin. Yeah, I'm with you. The reverts are weird, and I think coming up on this next patch, we're gonna see similar dumb shit like that.
Yeah, I feel like it's gonna be the same. It's gonna be the same formula until Worlds, maybe.
Possibly.
So, yeah. But thank you guys for writing in, Gungnir. Thank you for submitting the voice submission. Guys, we're always here and wanting more. So if you want to be heard and you want us to react to your submissions, go ahead and head over to Anchor and submit them there. Yes. And finally, our poll from last week. Did Grievous Wounds needed to be nerfed even more? And of course, it went from the middle tier item went from 30 to 25, and then the completed item was 50 to 40%. Thank God our community agrees with us, or at least me. I don't know how you felt about it.
No, I voted.
Yeah, okay.
I voted in there. We actually had the most votes we've had in any poll.
100%.
Nice.
100% said no, it did not need to be nerfed. Thank God.
Yeah, and just to stick with that point real fast, I just want to add, if you have a support who's building Chemtech Putrefier, please don't even bother building a Grievous item. It does nothing for you. It does absolutely nothing for you. The stats are okay.
I would say unless you're a mage, maybe, that really can't utilize like the auto attack, right? I don't know. Or wait, does Chemtech apply to abilities?
I think it does. I think it's all damage. Let's see. Chemtech Putrefier.
In that case, then fuck me, huh?
Empowered effect will only apply to the next instance of damage dealt to the first enemy champion. Damage if multiple champions are damaged at once. That's not what I wanted. Oh, here it is. Dealing magic damage to enemy champions inflicts them with 25% grievous wounds for 3 seconds. Healing or shielding allied champions, excluding yourself, empowers your and their next instance of damage against enemy champions.
Oh, okay, so it is all
any
damage.
Yep.
Okay.
Any damage. Now, the only thing you're not going to get is you're not going to get AoE damage with it. So maybe if you're playing Veigar, you build
Morellonomicon
just to get it with your,
oh yeah,
with
anything
your
with
Q,
like maybe even like Orianna or like Syndra that could like make a 3-man stun or something. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just something, if you're gonna, because Morellonomicon, I think it just says any magic damage, no matter how many it applies.
Right. But for the most part, like, it's pretty fucking useless to build it if you're.
I mean, it's 40%. That's not even worth it. Almost.
It was worth it in the past to have like 3 people on your team with it, but not anymore. So stay away from those items. They are noob traps.
Yep, they are. Thank you guys for writing in.
Yes.
And we're gonna stay on. Okay, so let me explain what we're gonna do today. We on the screen, if you guys are watching on YouTube, they every Tuesday before the patch, the in between weeks on the Tuesday, PBE gets updated. They released a list of champions that are getting buffs and nerfs, and then in this case, they're adjusting some things. But they don't give you the numbers or exactly what they're gonna do. So I thought it would be a fun idea. Based on, we're gonna go through every champion here that's listed. I wrote down their win rates. That was as of the 14th, and we're gonna make an educated guess on what they're gonna do to this champion. For example, the one I thought of is, imagine if Gangplank was getting a nerf. I was saying maybe either they lower his passive damage or increase the mana cost on his W, the scurvy removal. So something, it's basic, but I think it'd be fun to try to guess. And then next week when the patch does drop, 12.12, we're going to compare, see if we're right, see how wrong. We're probably going to be really wrong, but
see, you say that, and I would have said if he's getting a nerf, they drop 5% off his barrels on the was it the
armor pen?
Is it pen or ignore?
Oh, it is ignore.
Right? Yeah, so they just drop 5% on that to nerf him. Like, oh. But that's neither here nor there, guys. That's just kind of what we're doing. You know, that's what we're looking at. Like, what do we think they're gonna do, or do we have an idea? Like, obviously, we're probably not gonna have numbers because we're not Riot geniuses.
And we did not look at
a team.
As of recording this, they have released the PBE numbers. We have not looked at them.
I've not looked at them, and it doesn't matter because those numbers aren't gonna be right anyways. But we haven't looked at the numbers or what they did. We just know that there are buffs and nerfs and adjustments, and so we're gonna try to guess those today.
Yep.
And I think we're gonna start with Belvusi in the nerf side, even though she's right in the middle of the image you're looking at.
Yeah.
Stay with her.
Let's see. So Belveth is currently sitting at a 49-50% win rate. So she's right in the middle. It's very close.
Yeah, which is good. Obviously, they like the champions a little overtuned. Excuse me, overtuned early, so they can get an idea like how easy is this champion to play. If it's overtuned and it's OP, is it easy to play, or is it OP just because good players are playing it? You know. So this champion, I don't have a fucking clue because I haven't seen enough of it.
That's funny. There's one other champion on here that I said the same thing. I couldn't even think of anything, but it wasn't Belveth. And that's also the other thing that was interesting.
Wait. What was it, Zeri? That was not fair because we didn't understand how her shit works. But okay,
we'll get there. We'll get there. So Belveth, 49-50%. And the other thing that was weird, there's some champions, especially in the buffs, that are sitting over a 50% win rate, but they're still receiving buffs. Mundo. That was a weird. Well, for nerfs that makes sense.
But sorry, nerfs. You said buffs. I'm sorry.
Yes,
yeah,
there's
I didn't look at any of these champions in their win rate. So
okay, so yeah, let's say Belveth. This one's for you, Gungnir. Belveth, 49-50% win rate. So you said you have no idea no suggestion?
Dude, if I had to take a wild guess, and the reason I didn't write anything down is because I don't feel like I have a good educated idea of what they would do to nerf this champion, because I felt like her win rate was hot trash. So if someone twisted my arm and said, you gotta guess, I would guess it has to do with her scaling.
Okay.
Her scaling with her coral, probably, and how it affects her attack speed. They would probably
like the stats of consuming a coral. Okay.
Yeah, because you get the permanent stats for consuming coral, right?
For 60 seconds.
Okay, but but once you consume it, that true form is like dumbass OP, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so I'm thinking they probably nerf the scaling on that part. Like, I don't know what her ratio is versus how much coral she's consumed and how it affects her, but I would think maybe they bring that down a little bit, because I feel like once she gets enough, she becomes just. I've seen her attack speed just off the charts, and it's probably OP as fuck. So that's my assumption, is that they're going to try to bring that down a little bit, whether it's the damage or the speed. I would think it's probably the speed.
Well, to be fair, the attack speed is her passive.
Okay. See, I don't even know what
yeah.
I've read this champion plenty of times. I still don't really understand how her whole thing works. I have to get my hands on her and play her.
It's good. So my theory, it's one of two things, and I both of these can go either way because there's some that I'm like, oh, this is probably what they're gonna do, but they could possibly do this. These are this is a toss up. Maybe you can help me decide, and it has to do with her E. Either the damage reduction gets lowered because it sits at 70%. So either that goes down, or, and this is something I did not find out, if when you hit E, you like sit in one spot, you can't move, and it channels, does the damage, and then the damage reduction. If she gets CC'd, hard CC'd, the damage aspect stops, but she still gets the damage reduction while she is like knocked up.
Okay, I see what you're saying. So, like,
so even if she's
she just doesn't get to
interrupted,
deal damage, but she can take the reduction.
right. So my suggestion is either the damage reduction goes down, or it's gonna completely, if she gets CC'd, if she's like knocked up, she's not gonna get the damage reduction anymore. Like, it completely negates the ability.
Okay.
Those are my two suggestions or thoughts on what
Ideas.
they could do.
Okay.
So maybe not, but
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
all right. Next is Mundo on the Nerfs.
Yes, Dr. Mundo, and
54% win rate. 54% win rate, by the way.
right, and I don't even know why he's doing so well, but
Healing reduction doesn't exist.
right, that's the only thing I could think of. And so my thought of what they do to Dr. Mundo to bring him down is they hit his health regen in both his passive health regen and his ulti health regen.
That's exactly what I said.
Because that's like his thing, right? Regen.
Yeah.
Regen.
Alt heal down and passive heal reduce. Yep.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I said. Cool. That's cool. That's interesting.
Beautiful.
We also did not talk
I mean, that's
about
all he
these
does,
prior.
right?
Yeah.
Right. That's all Mundo does. That's like his thing. So that's like all I could really think of that works for him. So cool. I guess that one's pretty straightforward.
Yeah. A lot of these are the themes. Or I guess, you know what? Maybe the other thing I could suggest about Belveth is the lifesteal on her E gets lowered.
That's a thing too.
Because healing is going to be a big issue, big part of all this.
Right.
Next is Fiora, and this one, what'd you think?
I couldn't come up with something for Fiora because I have no idea. I haven't seen this champion, and so I'm not sure what is causing her to perform well because I haven't seen this champion in ages.
Sitting at a 53% win rate.
Is it because of Gore Drinker maybe? Or it looks like actually she's got a really high win rate with Stride Breaker. So I guess you just lower her damage is the only thing I could think of is you're lowering maybe her true damage on the vitals.
My theory is they're just gonna lower the healing on the vitals.
Holy shit, she has a 63% win rate with Kraken Slayer.
Because
But no one's really playing it with Kraken Slayer, but Jesus Christ. Okay,
No.
okay. Sorry.
But yeah, I think they're just gonna hit the healing on the vitals.
That's all I could think of.
I mean, it makes sense. Like, we're pretty much, again, everything is gonna be around healing.
Yeah.
A lot of these champions heal, right? So
Right. Well, I guess it makes sense too because she's a Death Dance user, and like Death Dance, I feel like has been really good lately. So that's probably, yeah, you're probably right. Probably has to do with healing. Some combination of healing and damage, I would assume. But I couldn't think of anything at the time, so I didn't write anything down.
all right, next is your favorite Janna, who is sitting at a 55%.
Ooh, his champion's OP as fuck. I almost could guarantee you they're dropping her shield.
Are we talking about the base or the scaling or what?
Or
just
probably, I would say overall. I don't know if it's gonna be base or scaling, but I don't think they're gonna change the damage that you get. But she's back to being a shield max, and she's pretty much back to being a shield spammer. If they really wanted to hurt her because she does so well with Glacial, it's disgusting. I think that they might even drop her either her innate mana regen or even her mana pool. That would really, I think, bring her down, or increase the mana costs. Usually they don't hit the mana pool, but they would hit the mana costs. Yeah. So I wouldn't be surprised to see both a reduction in the shield and a mana cost addition to to her E and possibly her Q as well, because that's how she's getting her glacial augment procs that are actually insane. Like, think about it this way. She's an enchanter, right? But if she has a glacial augment, I wouldn't necessarily call her a tank, but like she makes her team tankier by reducing damage dealt. Like, I don't know how else to put that, but that seems crazy insane, and she could do it from far away, like, and not have to be in the middle of the fight. So something that maybe even all three of those get hit. I don't know.
So I thought you don't think they're gonna lower the AD, the shield gives?
No, I think they're just gonna hit her mana costs.
Okay, so that was my first theory, and then I also was like the shield strength going down, which
That
makes
too,
sense.
I could see that happening.
And then my like secondary, my maybe is they lower the percentage bonus healing shield she gets from CCing somebody. It's like 20%, right? If she
oh yeah, something like that. Yeah.
So maybe they drop that to like 15, or if they dropped it to 10, that'd be insane. But maybe not that low. But
low, yeah.
but I could see them lowering it, that passive, right.
Right.
Or maybe even it applies for 4 seconds, maybe to 2 seconds, 3 seconds. I don't know.
Maybe
Something like that.
Because, yeah, she's just ripping it up with Moonstone right now. It's actually fucking insane.
Guys, you got another week to play her. Do it.
Yeah, dude, she's pretty much Freelo. And we don't call very many champions Freelo on this podcast. She might be Freelo. All right, let's truck right down to Lucian. What are you thinking?
52% win rate. This one's really straightforward. I think they're going to increase the cooldown of his E.
That's exactly what I said. I said there's something
mobility,
and I said cooldown because the mobility is insane, and he's able to chase anybody down right now.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen people like if you get like Essence Reaver, and you could even go Ionians.
Mm-hmm.
That's 40% right there, right?
Yep.
And then even does Sherilda's Grudge have CDR? That has CDR, right? I think that has some.
I think Sherilda's does, yeah.
Yeah, so that's another 20. So that's 60 right there. But
yep.
What's the cooldown? Starting cooldown is 20. It goes from 22 to 14. Obviously, the passive lowers that.
Right.
Yeah, I think they're just gonna bump it maybe by like 4 seconds.
Yeah.
Maybe bump it early and then keep it the same late.
That's the thing. I mean, he has been played more as a scaling champion. He doesn't perform as well levels 1 through 11 like he used to.
Or they might
that's bad.
Increase the mana cost early.
Or that too.
I mean, if you get Essence Reaver, that doesn't even matter anymore, right? But if
pretty much,
I mean,
if you can hurt him by increasing it early and forcing him to have to play more passive and less aggressive.
Yeah, and if they hit the cooldown and the mana cost, that'd be big. You could just he wouldn't really be a lane bully, huh? It'd be hard.
And you got to remember, this champion also has move speed on his W on
right.
the Ardent Blaze. Like if he can pop it, he gets move speed too. So that's another thing to add to his kit. So I wonder if they, I know you have a secondary for most everybody. I wonder if they would consider hitting that move speed on the Ardent Blaze passive. Yeah, just to see, because it's really you E in and then W, and then you can chase about anybody down. It's pretty fucking ridiculous.
It's a lot. It's 60 to 80 movement speed based on level. That's pretty insane.
A shit ton. It's a shit ton. So I wonder if they bring that down maybe as like a way, because he's at 50, almost 52%, right? So he's not like totally overtuned. He's just slightly up there.
Yeah.
So they could try to hit something minor and see what they get. All right, I guess that's it for Lucian.
Yep. Singed is up next, sitting at a 54% win rate.
Yes. And we talked about this last week.
Yeah.
The mid singed, and my solution, you hit his mana cost.
Like he's on everything, or
probably on his Q.
Okay.
He's got a shit tier mana pool. Like it's really bad until he builds a mana item, like a tier base item. His mana pool is awful.
You don't even build tier items on him.
You could build. I mean, you could build Fimbulwinter.
I know, just like looking at Lolalytics on their core builds,
they're
the
not
highest win rate, no tier items. I mean, you can get Frozen Hard if you really want to be tanky, you get extra mana, but yeah, I mean, that'd be big. And what's his Q cost? 13 mana per second.
Yeah, so I mean that could definitely you bump it up to 15 maybe, and because the whole thing that was going with him was that he can
We can just
leave
roam.
lane.
Yeah.
Yeah, he can just roam, leave lane, and 2v1 the enemy jungler. It's like, well, if you hit him in the mana cost, and he can't come back and defend his lane, and that's like a thing that could help, I would think.
My thoughts is pretty simple, and it's kind of just it's just lowering the stats his ult gives. Because it gives you ability power, armor, magic resist, movement speed, health regen, and mana regen. Maybe
I'm okay leaving mana regen in there, but yeah, maybe lowering the tank stats he gets from that.
just a little bit.
Yeah.
Or
Okay.
lowering the duration, because it's 25 seconds, maybe like 20 seconds.
Okay, that's the thing. Okay.
I don't know. Maybe, we'll see. Two more on the Nerfs. Viego.
Viego.
50% win rate. And this one is very similar to a few of the other ones. And let's see, I'm looking at yeah, 50% win rate. Just the passive healing when he inhabits a soul, put that you got to yoink that down, either base or the scaling, because they change it to scale with crit and attack speed.
Yep.
Either yoink that down, and then just the Q healing reduced when you Q
Okay.
and then you
Yeah,
auto
yeah.
attack and it heals you. It says restores 135% of damage dealt as health.
Yeah.
So yeah, again, healing. I just think they're gonna hit his healing.
I said, and this is keeping in theme with before. I said that they're just basically gonna revert his resistances, and they're gonna take away his stimmy, because if you look at the items he's building right now is Kraken Slayer, Mercs, and Bork, and then you're seeing Death Dance or Wit's End and like a GA.
He's so
or
tanky.
Maw. Yeah, there's just he's being a bruiser instead of being a fighter, and I feel like, okay, let's just remove some of those resistances and encourage people to go damage instead of tank instead.
The other thing I can think of is lowering the movement speed and or attack speed on his E.
Oh yeah, that's a thing too, for sure.
So I don't know.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Finally, Zeri again. I literally wrote. I'm gonna hold this up to the camera. Who the fuck knows? No idea.
I didn't write anything because I don't fucking have a clue.
I don't know. She's sitting
I
at
don't understand her scaling, so
yeah.
It's hard to understand that. And we talked about this recently,
Monday,
right?
yep.
About her crit build and whatnot. So like,
realistically,
what the fuck do you do?
realistically, I think they're nerf her W, because the fact that thing can crit when it passes through a wall. I've been seeing people just fucking get nuked by that.
Oh really?
Yeah, like especially I've been watching a lot of Champions Queue.
Yeah.
And just everyone's playing Zeri and motherfuckers are getting nuked. The fact that it just always crits. Yeah.
Does it always crit?
If it passes through terrain, it always crits.
Oh yeah, you're right. So yeah, I see a lot of people building IE on her now too.
Yeah, that does a fuck ton of damage, dude.
Yeah, they should just lower it to allow it to crit with crit chance. Then
Scale with crit chance. Okay,
that would be fair.
I like that.
At least more fair.
Yeah, this champion is. Or
I didn't realize it always crit. I thought it just had a chance to crit.
That was the I can't even. It must have been on the first.
It was I think it was last patch they just did that, didn't they?
It was. I think it was a patch before. I don't fucking know, dude.
Okay. Yeah.
Fucking dumb. Or
Stupid.
They literally could just be like, "Oh yeah, we need to revert and changes and blah blah blah." Like, just stop. We still don't know what the fuck they're doing with this champion.
Yeah, and we still don't know how really she works and fits in, but whatever. We'll figure it out eventually. Probably the more time you put in on her and whatnot.
Sure. So that is it for the nerfs, and we're gonna take a quick break and get to the buffs.
Yes, we will. Be right back.
All right, buff time, baby.
Buffy.
So up first is a Mumu. Yep, Mumu.
The mum.
Sitting at a 51% win rate. So again, this is a positive win rate.
Okay.
Barely, but and they're getting a buff. So I was kind of a little conservative on like what I'm not going to go super ham on what they're going to do, because I'm like, oh, they already have a positive win rate. They must be doing just small things.
Oh, it's going to be something for pro play. because I'm looking at his Diamond Plus win rate, and it's in the garbage can comparatively.
I see that.
At 48.84.
It just
Like
look at that drop off.
I know it goes straight up like a
53,
mountain, all the way almost up to 54 at one point, and then yeah. So my thought is that they're just gonna buff his actual tank stats. I've not played him recently, but in the games where I've seen him, he seems squishy. Like he can't withstand the damage that he used to be able to. So I wonder if maybe they buff the passive on his E, maybe.
Oh, the damage reduction?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wrote that down. I think that's what they do. It's very slight, but I think
it's not a whole lot, which is why I think it's fair if they buff that just a little bit. It's not like overbearing because it is so minuscule.
I hope whatever they do. My other suggestion is they also buff the percent damage on his W, and I think that would help him be more of a jungler than a support, because we all know of last year with a Mumu support how insane that was.
It's the double Q is all it is.
At least maybe let's see, the W does the percent of max HP damage, right? Maybe they're like, oh, it's doubled against monsters.
Oh yeah, that's the thing.
Make it be like, oh, go in the jungle, baby. Because whenever they buff junglers, that's usually what they do. Like, you think of Morgana, oh, we just increase the W damage to minion or jungle creeps or whatever.
Yeah.
Something easy, something really generic, right? Loves those generic things.
They do.
Okay.
They do, and just as a heads up to look at, there is like I didn't know this on Lolalytics. It has like a little idea of like who's countering the champion and who's playing well into.
Yeah.
So he's playing well into Gragas, Nidalee, and Yi, but he's being countered most by Mord, Udyr, and Karthus. And I've been hearing Karthus kind of as a sleeper jungle pick.
Yeah, I mean, I was playing it a few times. This shit's OP if you get going.
Right. Well, I've been apparently on this patch. It's better than it was before too. As long as you don't get ganked in the jungle, apparently Karthus can win just about any 1v1.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Except for against Kindred. I guess Kindred's a big problem for him. It must have to do with the ulti. But beyond that, like, it doesn't really matter. He's apparently pretty good into all of them. So, like I said, either it's going to be the damage reduction, and I wonder, because I know his damage reduction is only on physical damage, so I wonder if maybe they try to add magic damage in it and leave the numbers the same and just call it like a flat out reduction.
Just yeah, all damage.
Yeah, that's a thing too.
Okay.
I thought. But all right.
Next up is Annie.
Yes.
51% win rate.
I'm they're buffing, and so I think they're gonna try to compensate. I called it a revert, but it's not necessarily a durability revert. It's more of a compensation, because I think she's gonna have a hard time bursting people, considering all the stimmies that everybody just got. So I figured they're probably gonna try to up her burst damage somehow.
Okay, so just not any ability in general, just somehow like.
Yeah, I don't know what they would do, but I'm thinking something along those lines of burst damage.
I think they're just gonna up her base stats, and then possibly up her shield strength on her E.
I was gonna say, I hadn't looked at the win rates before this, but if she's only at a 51% win rate, it almost makes me think that they're gonna try to do something with her shield.
I mean, I think it. Trying to see.
Like, I know her shield has thorns on it.
Yeah, it does the magic damage. Right.
Yeah.
Or maybe increase the movement speed that you get.
Oh yeah, I forgot you get movement speed off the dude. I don't play this champion because I'm awful at her, even though she's like so basic and easy. She's almost too basic. It's like playing Garen. Sometimes I don't play Garen either. I'm awful at him because he's too basic and easy. You know what I mean? That you have to actually know the rest of the game instead of just the champion.
Right.
So yeah, so I wonder if they buff the scaling on the thorns damage, whatever. I don't know what you call it, the reflective damage.
It's
on
thorns.
on the
You take damage as you get.
It's called thorns in every other game.
All right. Moving on, Blitzcrank, sitting at a sweet 50% win rate.
Is he even being played? What's his play rate?
Let's find out.
His pick rate is 6.25% with a 13% ban rate because nobody likes playing against this champion.
It's not bad.
the only thing I could think of is his passive, because you don't want to overtune Blitz with damage. But
This is so
his mana barrier
insane, dude. I
passive-
said the same thing.
Yeah, that's all I could think of.
Like the shield goes up, the mana scaling goes up, maybe.
Yeah,
Maybe
exactly.
a better shield. Maybe reduce the cooldown on how long it takes to charge.
Right, and I mean, if you've ever played against Blitzcrank, you know too. Like, you don't if you haven't tried to burst him in a while, or if you click on his icon and see it's up, don't blow all your skills trying to burst him, because he's just gonna get that mana barrier and be shielded. So you need to try to get him to blow that himself, and then go after him, or otherwise go after his carry, because Blitzcrank himself isn't going to be the one doing damage to you. He's the one who's enabling his carry. So if you just ignore him and get his carry, then he can't do anything to you.
Cool. All right. Heimerdinger.
Dingerlinger.
52% win rate.
This is an interesting one, because at first I was like, well, what the hell do you do to Heimerdinger? And then I thought about it, and his turrets didn't get any buff from the stimmy. And so I'm thinking you just buff his turret health, because I think they're rather weak and probably easy to take out from a distance, especially considering all the other champions got stimmy buffs for durability, and his turrets didn't. So that's my thought. Just increase his turrets by a little bit.
That one's nice. I like that. I suggest his ult cooldown gets decreased, and then possibly the movement speed he gets around his own turrets and other turrets is buffed. So he moves a little bit faster around his nonsense. So maybe, I mean, I think I might like yours more.
That was just, one of the things I thought about was like, that's pretty core and integral to his play style. So
0.47 pick rate.
Yeah, no one's picking him because I think people just don't really know how to play him very well.
Next up is the Ivern. This one was 47% win rate.
Yep.
So I was a little more drastic on these changes. I'm like, okay, they got to do something to help my boy out. I think so when he auto attacks from bushes, he gets on hit magic damage. I think they will buff that, do a little extra damage, and then the health and mana cost on his passive when he consumes the camp.
Oh yeah.
Or when he sets it down.
Right.
The costs go down. How much does it say it costs? Is it telling you? Okay, so it's 132, and then health, and that's a lot of health at level 1. And then 149 mana. Okay.
Yeah. Now remember, if you smite it, you pretty much get it all back.
Right.
I said that they give him the Heimerdinger treatment and buff Daisy.
Yeah, okay, I wrote that down too as a maybe. Just give her more HP.
Yeah, she didn't get a buff either, and like that's kind of like his big thing while he's fighting is using Daisy. And so my thought is, you buff her a little bit, and she already is innately weaker because of Smite, and how much damage Smite does at its where it's at now. Dating back to last season when they changed Smite, I think, and he never really got a compensation for that, right? So I think they can buff Daisy here safely. In the way that she scales, because they could buff her base as well, I guess, but I would probably just buff her scaling.
Yeah, so it's her
because he already doesn't build a whole lot of
AP
anyways. Yeah,
it's a 50%.
Item, so
yeah, 50% AP scaling.
The health and the armor and magic is only 5%. Maybe bump those up to 15%, because he's not building a shit ton. Well, I guess he's not building a shit ton of AP though, so I don't think that's terrible. Or maybe 10%.
Ardent, Moonstone, maybe Putrefier.
Maybe Water Walking. Yeah, Putrefier definitely, because you get the shield. And then maybe Water Walking or Mikhail's or Redemption. You say Redemption already? I think you said Redemption.
No, it's not going to be that much though.
Oh, it even said Water Walking is in his core build right now, and the core build with Moonstone, Water Walking, and boots, cooldown boots, you're looking at almost 55% win rate. So,
Staff of Flowing Water.
What did I call it? Water Walking? God,
yeah.
I'm an idiot.
Okay, no, I'm
Staff
just trying to
of
make
Flowing
sure.
That's what I was talking about. I knew what I was saying. I just couldn't articulate it, so my apologies, guys.
You're good.
Yeah, that's. I think buffing some of the scaling on Daisy is the way to go here.
All right.
Especially if she's a big golem, and she's only carrying a base 90 armor and MR. Like, let's see, you get 40 AP from Moonstone, 50 from Staff, so that's 90 plus 60, that's 150. If you go Hourglass, you might not go Hourglass. If you go Hourglass, you're looking at 210. But only getting 5% of that's fucking nothing.
Nothing.
That's nothing. Like, you're talking, you know, if you do at least 10%, even just with those items at 210, you're getting 21 armor and MR, and that's kind of where an ADC sits.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like, that's an ADC with Wit's End, level like 14. You have enough armor and MR right there to be matched with Daisy. So like that seems kind of weak. Even at, like I said, even at 10%, that seems kind of shitty. So I think you could safely go up to 15%.
Okay.
But that's the Vern. Looks like next we've got J4.
49% win rate.
Yeah, I kind of wasn't 100% sure what to put for Jarvan, but I thought that they might try to buff his damage to sort of counteract the durability patch, because right now he's only useful as a tank.
Right.
And J4 is not a great tank because he falls off so hard late that he actually needs that damage.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I said.
Yeah, I said burst damage, and like a revert of the durability patch was my description.
I think they okay, so my first one was they are upping the armor. It's not shred, is it? Removing on his Q. It removes armor from the target.
Yeah, is it shred? I don't know.
It says removing 10 to 26% armor for 3 seconds. I think they
So that's shred. Okay.
they might buff that, make it a little bit more, and then if anything, give his ultimate more AD scaling.
Probably. He needs it. I mean, if he can't burst you or at least do a decent amount of damage, like he should. J4 should. His first 2 items should be damage items, and then the rest should be tank items. But as you're looking at his core build right now, it's Gore Drinker, Merc Treads, Death Dance. I don't consider Death Dance a damage item. It's just a bruiser item. Which to me tells me he needs to build 1 more damage item. Instead of having a viable option. So I agree with you. Just buff the scaling a little bit. Make that viable.
All right. Next is Seraphine.
Beanie.
50% win rate. This one was easy for me.
I immediately had an idea. I'm not sure. I mean, I think they're gonna buff her damage because right now this champion I feel like is useless and she's resigned to a support role. But I remember when they released her, they really wanted her to be a solo laner, right?
Yeah.
And she has 0 viability in that right now. So I'm thinking they're gonna try to buff some damage scaling to try to get her pushed back into the mid lane.
I think for me, I think it's the opposite. I think they're just gonna buff the her shield, keep her support.
Okay.
You know,
depends. It depends what they want to do with the champion. Is where we're at. You know what I mean? Everybody sat here and complained when they released her, like she's just like Sona. And they're like, no, she's not. She could solo lane. And where did she end up? In the Sona lane. Weird. It's almost like everyone knew what we were talking about. I don't know. So it depends on, if they want her to have a different identity than Sona, they try to push her back to the mid lane. If they don't care about that anymore and they've given up on that, then I would agree with what you're saying.
Yeah. All right. And then last but not least, for the buffs is Yorick.
I had no fucking clue for this one.
Sitting at a, 49% win rate. Kind of the same theme. I think they're gonna up the Q heal, the health he restores when he uses Q.
Yeah.
Because I think it's like, what was it? It's 10 to 68 base, and then if he's below 50% HP, it gets doubled.
Yeah.
But so I think the healing is gonna go up, and then maybe the slow on his E goes up.
Okay, that's fair. I had no idea what you do to this guy. He's a split pusher through and through, so he's gonna build Hull Breaker. Increasing resistances doesn't make sense.
Was it last year when they did that change that made him insanely OP?
Yes.
What did they do again? The when you toss your E, your your ghouls like crit or something. You just did so much damage.
They just did I don't remember if they crit, but they did a fuck ton of damage. Like, for no reason.
It was like one-shotting people.
Reason. Yeah. You see like four little dudes flying over there, and people are just like, how am I half health? You just hit me with E. Like, how does this make sense? So, again, I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't play enough Yorick to have a good opinion. Right. Or know enough about Yorick to have a good opinion. So, I'll go with what you said, because you have far more experience, and I don't know what makes him so shitty right now anyways, so.
I think, yeah, I don't know. Yorick's just kind of does, I think he just does one thing, and people know how to fix that.
Right.
All right, so that is all the buffs and nerfs. Now we have 4 more champion adjustments.
Build adjustments is what they were calling them in the Reddit post you linked me. Champion adjustments is what they're calling them on here. So like Katarina build path, Shaco build path, and then Yuumi and Soraka healing. So I think these are going to be similar. I think Yuumi and Soraka are going to be similar. I almost would say let's just start with them, because those are going to be easy.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that they do something with Moonstone to affect them. Now, I only say that because in the patch preview I read, they were calling them build adjustments, not champion adjustments. Which is why I think, oh, okay, maybe they hit Moonstone. But looking at this other one that you gave me, which is I think the one they post on Twitter, that one's a little bit more clear about just being an overall adjustment. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's less healing early, more healing late.
Yeah, when I see Yuumi and Soraka, I was more of a this one is more of an adjustment, whereas Shaco and Katarina are tied to builds.
Yeah.
So for Soraka, and whenever I see adjustments, I think they're gonna nerf something and buff something else. So they're gonna make it a little bit easier.
Exactly.
So I think they are gonna they are gonna buff the Q rejuvenation when you land your Q, so it heals her more, and then when you use your W within that short period of time, it applies that to your target.
Right.
So I think they're gonna buff that up, but they're gonna lower the base healing on the W.
Okay, that's fair. That makes sense.
So
because that's like a big part of her playstyle, right? Like land the Q and then cast W immediately.
Because they love doing like little shit like that almost like counteracts.
Right.
So that was I think they're gonna buff the Q rejuvenation, but lower the W healing.
Right.
And then Yuumi, kind of similar. Specifically for her E, because obviously healing. They are gonna lower the mana cost because it's a ridiculous mana cost, right? Mm-hmm. What is it? Is it like how much percentage of her total mana or whatever?
Is it 15%? Might be higher than that. I don't remember what the total was, but it's pretty cost. It's got a base and then a cost, I believe, right?
So I think they're gonna.
Yeah, it is 12%. So it's 40 to 60 plus 12% of max mana.
Yeah. So it gets a lot. So I think they're gonna lower the mana cost, maybe bring it to like 10% of your mana. Something very small. But they're going to lower the healing of the E and maybe increase the cooldown. What's the cooldown on it?
12 to 8.
Okay, so maybe they bump that up to like 14 or something.
I'm wondering if maybe they lower the heal, increase the move speed, and then leave the attack speed the same.
Okay.
As a way to like, okay, well you can't quite heal as much, but you can buff better, if that makes sense. That's my thought. Or they try to lower the healing. They try to move her off of a Moonstone build to more of a Shurelya's build. By doing something with that. I'm not sure. It's just kind of a shot in the dark there. I'm not sure what you do to really affect her healing without just hitting the healing in general. You know what I mean? So, okay. And then we can go to our favorite champion.
Oh God,
Katana Fish.
This one I think is really easy, and I'm hoping you thought the same thing as me.
Me.
I just want them to buff her AP ratios, get rid of the AD ratios, and just obliterate Bruiser Katarina. That shit is not healthy for the fucking game. I don't even want to. I'm sure her. Let's see. Her win rate's at 50%. And obviously, you can argue she's a high skill cap champion. Pick rate is 7%. Ban rate's 10%.
It's funny because her best and highest win rates are not using bruiser items or on hit items anymore, other than Nashor's Tooth, which is fine. Have Nashor's Tooth. You can have the on hit with Nashor's Tooth. I
Okay.
don't think that's a problem.
Did you realize her ult scales with attack speed?
Like, maybe I might have,
Why? Why is that even a thing?
because Nashor's Tooth.
Well, I mean, the Nashor's Tooth is also good because her ult applies on hit effects,
Right.
and that's good.
Right.
But
I'm not mad about that. It's just like, why was this champion building Sunderer, and then
Sunder is kind of a because it gives the hybrid pen. That
well, it's
magic,
the hybrid. It's the hybrid pen, and it's also the spellblade, because this would proc a spellblade,
Yeah.
which is disgusting. Like, you get one big chunk. And then also building Titanic. Like, why is that allowed? But it looks like that's not even her best win rate. Her best win rates are Nashor's and Protobelt and Shadow Flame. So
I know. I hardly see these builds.
I don't. In our Leo, we don't. We certainly don't. So that's weird. But this is certainly counter to what we believe is our truth. You know.
Well, my truth is
Fuck
that
this
this
champion.
champion fucking is cancer.
Disgusting. Yes.
So yeah, I think they just go ahead, buff her AP ratios. She's an assassin. If she one shots me and she's fed, whatever. I just don't want to be one shot, or I don't want to be like slowly killed when she takes like no damage.
Right. Right.
Because like, let's see, what's her
Disgusting.
AD ratios?
Too fucking high.
Let me see her passive. 75% bonus AD on her passive. Q is straight magic damage. W is movement speed. E is 50% bonus AD. Just get rid of them, dude. Or make them like 10%. They don't need it. You absolutely don't need it. Stupid.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
All right, and finally, Shaco, 52%, or excuse me, 50% win rate as well. This one, I had no idea.
I wasn't sure, but because they called it a build adjustment, I figure they should be targeting his AP and AD ratios, because currently, if you play him in the jungle, you build AD. If you play him in a lane, you build AP. But there's no like versatility in that. You can't play him in a lane, and you know what I mean. Like you don't take him in the jungle and build AP. Then you don't take him to a lane and build AD. There's no crossover, so it's like, oh, he's playing jungle Shaco. Okay, he's building AD. We know this. So it feels very, I don't know if lopsided is the right word, but like very locked in. Depending on whatever role you pick, this is what you're building. And
So,
like you should
okay.
have more versatility than that, I would think.
So you think, like,
I don't know exactly what they do, but my thought is like,
maybe like those slight jungle buffs we always talk about, where it's like, oh, it does extra damage. Like his boxes deal extra damage to monsters and minions, or
yeah, something like that. You got to give him a reason. You got to give a reason, because right now, as AD Shaco, you're only using the boxes as a way to get CC, right? Like, you don't care otherwise. Your whole goal is to get CC, because you're not going to do that much damage with the box, because it's an AP scaling ability.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, like, support Shaco, you're trying to bait people to follow you into your box, so your box can just annihilate their face. It's very it's almost like it's two different champions. You know what I mean? It's so disjointed in the way that works, that I feel like you add an AD scale to the box and maybe reduce the fear, or reduce the durability or something. Because his E is the only one that scales off both, right?
yeah.
I think everything else, his Q scales off AD, his ulti scales off AP, and his W scales off AP, and his E is the only one that's like a hybrid scaling thing. So that's just my thought. I do see here in the highest win build, people are building like a hybrid build. It's really weird. It looks like they're building
Yeah, I don't
Leandry's demonic and into Collector and Lord Dom's.
I don't know. I don't play this champion. We should get Dom on here because Dom plays a lot of fucking
Yeah,
Shaco.
Dom or Steven. Steven's a good one for that too. He plays
Yeah.
a lot of Shaco too. Yeah, I'm not sure. It's weird. It's
This
very
one-
weird. I think
yeah,
it just depends on where you're playing him, and I think they're gonna try to eliminate like that, like such an obvious like, oh, he's here, he's gonna be this, you know.
It's kind of like the same thing with Zeri. I have no fucking idea, dude.
Oh, Zeri, I'm even more lost on.
Well, guys, that's about to do it. Thanks for hanging in there with us. I enjoyed doing this. This was a fun one.
Yes, this is good, and I do again apologize for delaying
It's okay.
our post here, but we'll be back again tomorrow with your rundown.
Yep, I'm looking up what champion is next. I can't remember.
We do have I have received some messages for people that want to join the draft. We just got to get everybody who has enough champions or the right champions on an account in the NA server to do it. So please, if you want to do it, keep
Messaging us.
yes, sending in your requests to join, and yeah,
Yeah,
I
guys.
don't think I have anything else.
Yeah, just I mean, as always, hit that link tree, join our socials. If you guys
Share
are,
with your friends.
If you guys
That's
want
something I always say.
share it with your friends, absolutely. And if you guys want to look at our wonderful faces, head over to the YouTube. The YouTube could use a little bit of love. That'd be awesome.
It certainly can. And no, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, just we're always open to play with people, guys. and
Always.
There's people in the server that are looking for games from time to time too, especially Clash. We have a few people that like to play Clash as often as it's up.
Excuse me. And we're generally in the Discord. One of us is generally in the Discord at all times.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just wanted to say that, you know, the best way that these things grow is by sharing with your friends that you think might like it, might like to hear, you know, some of this kind of stuff. And so I really appreciate it if you could share with one or two friends, and maybe they share with one or two friends, and then we go from there. I'd still want to get more people in on our Discord, so that way we have a bigger community. I think I've mentioned in the past, it's like one of my favorite things about this whole experience is actually building a community of people that want to play the game together and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
I guess the one other thing I just thought of is Players comes out. It should be out by the time this is out. I also learned that the first 2 episodes are free to anybody. You do not have to sign up for Paramount. I think they're releasing 4 episodes up front. First 2 are free. The next, everything else, you have to have the subscription. But guys, there is a free month subscription. You can get a free trial. Just do it. There's going to be 10 episodes total. We are probably going to be watching it and maybe discussing it, kind of like how we did our Arcane, and do some reviews. And maybe, I don't know if we'll go episode by episode. Maybe we do like every couple episodes we'll talk about it. Or, you know what? Poll of the week. Do you guys want us to do like episodes, like multiple episodes, or do you want us to watch the whole series and then do a final review? Because it's 4 episodes come out, and then every week after that, it's 1 per week. So it's going to be about another month or so until the series is done. So, poll. Do you guys want us to wait till the series is completely released to review it, or do you want us to do multiple episodes?
Okay, I like that poll.
And then I don't have a question. I was thinking of just leaving it open. Anybody, you guys can just ask us anything, any particular questions you have, any thoughts you want to share, just anything. Open mic.
Totally cool with that. I like the open mic idea. That's actually
Make it easy.
There's not really a good question to ask about the subject here, so I like the open mic idea.
Yeah. Guys, if you enjoyed, as always, follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts.
Review on Apple Podcasts.
Rate us. We're getting more reviews or ratings and loving it. Thank you.
Yes.
And as always, guys, we'll be back on Friday, and we are talking about, I think it was a Mumu and Karthus is up next.
All right.
So,
the Mumu and the Carthy.
see you later, guys.
Later, guys.